Hey, Earl. We're waiting on Cait. You want to see some lizards? Oh, let me find. Let's see. Hey, everybody. I'm waiting on Cait Does Crime to join in. She has some exotics, and we're just going to talk about exotics. I think she's got a couple of her lizards, and that are actually special needs as well. So we were going to have a discussion, but we're trying to figure it out how to do this. Earl, you going to say hello? Okay, she said she's coming down. Are you belching? Are you belching? Earl's belching. There we go. Hey,
Hey,
look, Earl. Earl, say hello. Did you get it figured out on your computer, or did you have to use your laptop?
I'm just doing it from my phone.
But yeah, that's what I have to do.
It's pretty cool that you could do it straight from YouTube though. I usually use StreamYard, so.
Yeah, we've done one with Ani the cockatoo before. It's a lot of fun. I really like doing things like this.
I do too. I like doing guest stuff. I had a bunch of guests this week. It's been like a busy week for me.
Yeah.
Covering a case in Oklahoma, and I had all these interviews that went so well.
Yeah, it is Cinco de Mayo.
Hi.
Yeah.
Girl. Hi, everyone.
So hi. Yeah, Earl does talk quite a bit, but sometimes he's a little shy. And we're not always usually in this room. I have a little office, which is not finished yet. My husband had he changed our floor plan, so he built this wall, and we haven't painted yet. So
he's always doing some work on the house. I love it. I love his boxes that he made.
It's been let me try to turn my volume up a little. Sorry. Oh, I accidentally took a picture. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we've been remodeling since we moved here over 4 years ago. So what kind of lizard do you have? What's its story?
I used to watch Buster back when he was in that room down in the hallway, and he used to swing in the hallway and hop down. Like that's when I started watching him, like way back when you had him there.
Yeah, he's been in like 4 different bedrooms. I mean, as we go, we get it. But now they have a dedicated room. It's a small area, but it's perfect for them. So yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to do a live with Buster's mom because
Yeah.
I am an exotic animal owner, but like I really I'm big with reptiles. I have a lot of reptiles, and I rescue. Almost all of them are rescues. I have, I think, 2 that aren't, and I have a couple handicapped ones, and I watch Buster and Earl, and Earl's handicapped, And
Yeah.
I felt they were like, reptiles and birds are so similar in the sense
Oh
where
yeah, they're exotics.
exotics and they have specific hair that people don't. Sorry, my other. Um, Here's my other handicap baby right here. This is Rome. He has metabolic bone disease. It's
Oh
really
my.
hard for me to get him
Oh,
to
I
get,
see.
and he has a crooked spine.
Oh, bless his heart.
And he's an old little grumpy man, but um
So girl.
he's gonna get probably a little angry because I have my female beau here, but she's blind, so she can't see him. But he can see her. You can see his beard's getting black.
Yeah.
He has no idea he's here, but he's like, I see you. But
That's I don't know if you saw the little chicken that we had a little tea party with last night.
oh, I've seen that
On
video.
the short. There's another one coming out where Earl joins in, but he was being a grumpy old man too. But she's special needs as well. Like she has to stay in her own coop because the other chickens pick on her, and they picked off some of her nails.
Oh,
And but she, I mean, you actually have. It's really hard to even get her to eat, and she was eating some sprouts that I had made. So
little bowl, yes.
my daughter brings her over sometimes because we're trying to figure out some ways to get her to grow. She's extremely tiny.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but anyway, yeah. So we always have something like special going on with a lot of our animals. Yeah,
that's
but
how it is with him. A lot of people don't know this, but I feel like lizards like kind of become that like like when your kid wants a pet and you bring a lizard home, but it's like a lot of people just kind of like put it in this little plastic tanks and
yeah,
don't really realize that they require specific care. And he was living in a van with this woman. Now she had just lost her home,
mm,
and she knew that she couldn't care for him anymore because she didn't have the proper lighting or the heat. And whenever she could get somewhere with electricity, she would bring him in this little like tote, like a storage tote, and she would plug him in for as long as she could. But it got to the point where it was just it wasn't good for him, and she was devastated. But
mm,
I was happy to take him, and because he was lacking proper UVB, which I think is even important for birds too, like getting sun.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of people that can't do the sun or whatever with them buy this special light. I don't need it because our birds get plenty of sun from outside. But yeah, they do need sunlight.
So lizards need it all the time, and you need this specific one. The best, like most people get a bulb, but the best one to get is like this bulb that takes up 3/4 of the tank, and it's like one of those long bulbs. I forget what it's called, like a T8, T5 bulb, and
I don't know if you hear, but Earl was talking back to you.
you talking to me, Earl?
Yeah, he's when you're saying this stuff, he goes, "Oh, yeah." So that's pretty funny.
You
Yeah,
interested, Earl?
yeah, and he's watching you. Yeah, that's funny.
You see my lizard, Earl? Look.
You seen the lizard? What's its name? What's that one's name?
Rome.
Rome. Say hi, Rome. Wave to him. Will you wave?
He's like, what is that?
Now he's gonna be a stinker, but yeah, when you were go ahead though with the bulb. It's just funny. He is talking to you as you speak.
Yeah, well, so the UVB, if he can't absorb, if he doesn't get UVB, it prevents him from absorbing calcium.
Hmm.
Then their bones get very, very, very brittle. So the UVB is for their bones and to be able to absorb vitamins and stuff, and the heat is for digestion. So they need two separate bulbs, heat and UVB. And he didn't have enough UVB, so his bones got very brittle, and his body like malformed, I guess. And he he got healthy, and it kind of just stayed this way. They said that because I started taking care of him, that I like reversed it happened, but the still like the damage that he had already had is done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, Bo, you can't.
That's sad.
Yeah, but because he has a crooked spine, he's very like off balance, and if he tries to turn, he flips a lot. So if we go on vacation and things like that, he comes everywhere with us.
Yeah.
Last year, you know, there's like pictures you can get where you can like dress up as like cowboys at like an old time saloon.
Uh-huh.
We got one of those and put a little cowboy hat on him, and he got in the picture with us.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And
That's cute.
but yeah, he does pretty well for he can't stand up on all fours. He kind of like pulls himself. He like drags himself, but he does good.
Yeah, that's Earl. Earl, I mean, he has deformed feet, but he gets around pretty well. He does walk. Um, it looks cockeyed when he walks. Um, but I have a video coming up soon where we had went out to see the chickens. And I put his little box on the ground, and he came like chasing after me. I've never seen him get it that fast. So he can't fly though. He can go straight down, but that's about all he can do. And then he has his beak issue, which we keep that really well maintained, so it really is not an issue for him
Does it
anymore.
like overgrow, right? Like it
He
gets
has it's called scissor beak. So when some of them when they're born, instead of just the straight up and down, it's like this, kind of like. And sorry, Earl. um, and if they fix it with a rubber band, they can actually fix it with a rubber band. But most, if they're not a very good breeder, they don't do it. And once you know, they get to be a certain age, you can't fix it. All you can do is keep up with their trim.
gotcha.
So I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of when I first got him. It was very, very bad.
Oh, I don't know, but you have to send me one.
Yeah, I have it. Let me, if I can find it, I'll show it on here. But it's
I could show you how it looks. You probably can see how
yeah.
he like drags himself. And hold on, I'm gonna put you down for a minute because you're gonna get mad at me.
Are you flexing, Earl?
This
Are
is
you
Bo.
flexing?
She is a special morph. She is called a micro scale. So her scales feel almost like skin. She's
Oh,
they're usually called leatherbacks, but hers are even smaller than leatherback. Did he just say oh? Is that
uh
him?
huh. That's what he keeps saying. He keeps going. Oh, yeah. Uh huh.
Heard him say oh.
This is like FaceTiming to him. We FaceTime our granddaughters a lot, and him and Buster both will talk to our granddaughters. So he enjoys this kind of stuff.
Oh.
You learning some new information, Buster, or I mean Earl. Huh?
She's
And
blind. She's blind. She wasn't blind when I got her, but she has very overactive ovaries, and she
mm-hmm.
lays eggs. They're not fertile, but during egg laying season, she just clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch. I mean, as soon as she lays them, she's grown them again, and it drains them really bad. It depletes their vitamins and stuff like that. So she gets very depleted during.
Oh, you're frozen. Are you back? I don't know if it's on my end or on your end. Earl. Guess left. Let's see. Oh, yep, you're back. I was trying to figure out how to invite you again.
No, I think it was my phone kicked me off. Sorry. Okay, it'll be all right now.
Okay.
So, she gets very, very, very depleted of vitamins and things like that because she lays so many eggs, and because she laid so many eggs and it did that to her in in a few months, she got cataracts. So,
Oh.
um, like I can hold food right up to her eyes, and her pupil won't dilate or move. And are you talking, Earl? Hi. You see her, Earl?
You see? Look.
She's handicapped too. It, it's a learning experience for me because I had to learn how to like navigate for her, like how to get her to take food, and
Mm-hmm.
like it takes an hour sometimes to feed her because it's hard for her to differentiate if it's just something touching her or if it's food there. Hi, you see?
You see? You're very interested, aren't you, Earl?
You like lizards, Earl? But yeah, I have 9 of them altogether, most of them rescues. Like it got to the point where I'd go to the pet store, and if they had a lizard up for adoption, they're like, "Hey, come in here."
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, "I can't take anymore. I'm running out of plugs in my house."
Do any of them stay in the same cage, or do they all have a separate cage?
Separate.
Yeah.
So reptiles are really like solitary animals, and
Mm.
they normally don't get along. You can probably like Bo, when I first got her, she shared a cage with another female, and they got along. Having females together is usually okay, but
Mm-hmm.
males, no. Like males will try and kill each other. So, um, but I do have a like one male who's very laid back. You know what I mean? He he is. I can have other ones around him, and he won't freak out. But most of my other ones will try and attack the other one. They're very and I believe Rome at one point shared a tank with a male, and they fought all the time. So
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting to me how um, it seems like exotic, the way they get along and things like that. You know,
some
yeah.
are social and some aren't. A lot of people think that that's a big problem too. Is a lot of people think that they're social animals, and they'll lay on top of
Hmm.
each other, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute! Look at them laying with each other," and it's really a sign of dominance, and they lay on top of each other. It's like, um, I need these resources and I'm taking them from you. And
Hmm.
so, even if they do get along in the same tank, um, one will be significantly smaller because there will be like an alpha, and
Mm.
the other one will kind of like back off. So, uh, I could go get Rosie. Rosie was her tank mate, and Rosie is giant compared to her. Like she's tiny. So she was, the smaller one, and Rosie was the dominant one, and got
Hmm.
her food and stuff. What about
It's
Link?
like hens. We call it with hens. We call it a pecking order. Like even our chickens have a pecking order. Like somebody's in charge, and then there's goes down, or one or two of them are in charge, and the rest of them.
Oh, so there's like it's like the same for chickens, like
Yeah, that's what we call it a pecking order, just
mhm,
because chickens peck or whatever. But yeah, especially if you bring in like if I brought in a couple other hens, um,
new ones, like new
you have to
territory
introduce them very carefully.
in a neutral setting, probably.
Usually, what I do is, well, one thing we always did is put them together at night because they're sleeping,
Hmm.
and birds and chickens are it's the same. When it's completely dark, they can't see. They're basically blind in the dark. So we'll put them in at night, and then I mean, but they'll fight though. They do. It's just the way it goes. But yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. I really don't know much about lizards or snakes either, because I know you have snakes as well.
Hmm.
I'm terrified of snakes.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of people are, and you know what? I
mhm,
don't blame people because really they've been like portrayed in the media
mhm.
and everything as these like evil, bad creatures. But my snakes are like dumb and derpy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they will sit there and let you rub their chin. They like will fight themselves trying to get their food. I mean, they're not really what people think they are. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, there is ones that are more aggressive or more food driven, but I have ball pythons and they're a pretty laid back, calm snake. Like for somebody who would want a snake as a pet, a ball python would be is always like a good choice because they're on the relatively calmer side and they aren't really like too motivated. You might get like one or two that are. Hi,
He's talking like Buster.
I heard it.
Yeah,
It
he's
sounds
doing.
just like him when he did that. I thought Buster was there.
Yeah, a lot of people. I can't see a lot of the comments, but I know people are commenting. They thought it was Buster. Buster's enjoying time alone with Dad without me around, so he's having a blast. But yeah, he
He
talks just
loves
like
that.
Buster now. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, Buster and Earl are my favorite YouTube pets too.
Oh, thank you.
I used to have birds when I was younger, and I just love birds. I had a parakeet, and I'm not really sure. One day I came home and it looked like she got her like head stuck in the cage and maybe snapped it or something. I don't know, but she died, and I'm not really sure how it happened. Like we found her at the bottom of the cage, like near the side, and then my cockatiel was like my baby. I got her right when Chris Farley died, and so I named her Farley, and she was like really like still barely having feathers, baby, like really small, and I was like her person, and she would sneak out of her cage every night and climb up the steps and get to this little stool that was next to my bed and sleep there. And she would wait for me in the window when I came in from school and freak out. And one night we were painting, and my mom didn't want the fumes to bother her, so she stuck her out on the step. The cage was closed and everything, and a cat came up and opened the cage door, and I was like traumatized from this. I
Oh
was
yeah.
so like I walked out right as I seen my bird, running down the street and jumping, trying to get away, and then they went out of view, and I never really was sure what happened. I looked for that bird for months, like
Yeah.
outside, hoping that she got away, which Now in hindsight, I don't think she did, but man, that broke my heart. That was like,
Yeah. I had something similar happen with a hamster when I was little. My dog, we'd set it my brothers had set it outside. I wasn't home for the day and they set it outside and my dog got it. And yeah, I mean I didn't see it happen or anything, but um I was very young. I was like in third grade. So it was really, you know.
yeah, I was probably in like fifth grade when it happened, but I mean, like, she used to just sit there and peck my teeth and like hang out with me, and she would talk. My parakeet talked too, which I
Mhm.
thought was pretty interesting because parakeets don't really talk. Like, I don't see a lot of them that
They
talk.
actually do,
Mhm. Here we
more
go,
than people think. That's
Beaver.
one of the things that I mean, they talk very birdy, it's very scratchy, but, I think parakeets are the most underrated bird in the world,
Yeah.
and, I wish that more people would get but if you want a parakeet to really bond to you and then just get one, because once you get 2, they bond with
Hmm.
each other, and,
And you
they
kind of get
really
left
won't
in the
be
dust.
like your friend. And, they always show to, like, give your bird a mirror, and
Hmm.
you shouldn't do that because they'll think that's a mate, and they'll wanna mate with the mirror. So, yeah, I absolutely love parakeets. I've taken in some and rehomed them, and the one I actually flew, I planned on keeping him, and I took in another female that needed a home, and they bonded, and he
Oh,
loved her, and I could not keep them both. But they ended up a friend in Ohio has them, and they're living their best life. They're both tame now because she was like a phobic. That was one of the reasons. Like she would get out and fly around. It wasn't a safe situation anymore with Buster.
yeah.
It concerned me, but anyway, they're living their best life now, so it all worked out. Yeah.
Do Earl and Buster ever like fight?
No,
Like,
Buster is getting more and more
you get
curious
me,
about Earl's little stand,
you
but
get me going. Sorry.
he actually jumped on it even one day because I shoot him off. But I don't worry as much about Buster being like aggressive
Worry about Earl.
as I do Earl because he's a grouch.
Get
But
Rosie.
the other day they are like in the morning time when they're in their cage, they are starting to like talk back and forth to each other, which
Oh,
is
that's
kind of
good.
funny. Yeah. So
And how does Earl like the dogs? I seen the dog's tail hit him the other day. I was cracking up. He was like, "What
so
the heck?"
I mean he calls the dogs to come here and then tries to nip at them. Um so he's yeah, like I can't even really do floor time unless with the dogs out there unless I'm like really really watching him
Yeah.
because he's a sass pants. But in his previous home, they had a lot of dogs. They might even have more than we did, but they're big dogs, and I don't think they were very nice. So I think it's
Uh,
more of
so maybe he's a
you
little
know,
like traumatized by that.
yeah, and he didn't have good experiences with dogs. Like our dogs are really good with the birds.
Hmm.
So,
So
but I've seen a lot of progress with him, so you never know. It could turn
yeah,
around. Yeah, yeah. Right.
like from how he was when I first started watching to now, you can see like that shell is just chipping away. That he's getting
Mhm.
more and more comfortable. Like every video, he gets even a little more comfortable. It seems that like
I need to try to get like he talk. A lot of people thinks that he doesn't talk. He actually does speak very well. He loves to do phone conversations. He's listened to a lot of telephone conversations, and he'll do both voices, like the man and the woman, and it's really funny. And usually, if I do like a sound of a telephone ringing, he'll say hello.
he'll say
Um,
hello.
and when he hears my FaceTime ring, he'll go, "Hi, Kiki girl." That's my granddaughter's nickname. Um, yeah. And yesterday he had listened to me on the phone before I got on a live, and I don't know what it prompted in it, but he kept saying 4 5, 4 5. So I was like, I'm not it, which that's not doesn't have any part of my phone number, but I'm like, I'm not gonna.
There he goes. Look, you making
Yeah, he's
that.
laughing. He's laughing. I'm not gonna tell my phone number in front of him again. That's all I'm saying.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, but I have a lot of times what I have to do when he's starting to chat is I'll just put the phone up on a tripod and just record him. That's kind of how I have to handle it with him. Yeah. But yeah, he is really coming around. He was in really bad shape when I got him. Really bad.
Now, was he like in his cage full time before you got him?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah, I was told they only let him out like a couple hours a week. Um, and he liked the mail where he lived, and he likes my husband more than he likes me. Although he's starting to come here. Here, you give me you. I can do like that now. Like just give him a little pet. But if I try
what
to go
happens if you try and like let him step up or pet him? Like,
he has no desire to step up on me, and I've tried a few times, and he's bit me. Now I had a friend come over, and he really liked her daughter, and he almost stepped up on her, but then he did end up biting. She had long sleeves on, but he bit a hole in her hoodie.
oh my
Um,
goodness.
but their beak is fierce. Like
Oh yeah. They
they
can bite through wood and stuff, right? Like they're
yeah,
really strong. Yeah.
metal. Buster's PSI is 350. That's higher than any dog on the planet.
Wow.
I think the highest PSI is a German Shepherd, and it's in the, I want to say 185, 200 air. I can't remember exactly, but they have a very high. I don't know what Earl's PSI is, but it's big too.
Have you ever been bitten by Buster?
Yes, and it hurts. It will bruise you, and now not all the birds don't always bite to be mean. If they lose their balance, they don't have like hands,
Yeah.
so they use their beak. Their beak is like their hand, and like that happened one time with my daughter Buster, which he's not supposed to fly on shoulders uninvited, but he did, and he started to fall, and he got her ear, and he actually like split her ear open.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's you have
And
to be
out of fear. I mean, like, it's
hmm
a lot of it's out of fear. It's not that
hmm
they're mean, it's just, they're compared to humans, they're a lot smaller,
yeah.
so.
Earl has a lot of fears, but in general, African Greys are a little more phobic than like a cockatoo. Buster has some. I suspect that Buster lived in a home that where someone loved him very much, and he also lived in a home where he wasn't treated well. He definitely heard a lot of arguing, as you can hear in some of his rants. We don't yell, and I mean, I'm not saying we never raised our voices, but we don't fight like that. Somebody
Yeah.
fought in front of him, I think. I mean, it was probably
He
Albert.
doesn't seem to really like yell though. He has like serious
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah, he
Like
does. He's got a lot of
he
important things to say.
yeah, lots of important things to say. Yeah. He gets very serious about it too. Like if you're not listening, like the
Yeah,
one time you guys were acting like you weren't listening to him, and he was like getting all up in your face.
yeah, yeah. He gets bent out of shape. I'm starting to like when he starts. I kind of tell him like, "Nah, that's not true."
Mhm.
Amanda asked if lizards bite.
Yes, they do, but I mean, bearded dragons are fairly calm. I've gotten bitten by a few of mine, but most of the time it was uh, an error on my part, like feeding them, because I have a couple handicapped ones. I
Mm,
have to hand feed them, and Rome, he has a hard time, like because his muscles and his bones were weak. He can't, like most of my lizards can take food politely. He can't. Like he can't
mm.
control it. So I've gotten bit by him a couple times. Rosie's never bitten me. She's a sweetie. She's like the mama of the groups. You can see how much bigger she
Yeah.
is than her. These two were in a tank together.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
getting uncomfortably close to her. I don't like it. That used to be your roommate. Be nice. I don't think she's not being like angry. She's just probably nosy. Like if she was angry, you would see black on her beard and she would bob her head. When they're mad, they bob their head and smack the ground really hard at the
Okay,
same
that was my next question. Like, do they have a body language? Like, parrots have a body language.
time. Oh yeah.
And I
Well,
wondered.
their main body language is a black beard. If their beard turns black, they are angry about something. Like their whole
Hmm.
beard will get very black. And then a male's body language is they bob, like they bob their heads like this, and they'll smack the ground as they do it, like really intense. I think I might have a video where I can like hold my phone up and show it, but I think I have a couple shorts on my channel where it's like, let me see. I might be able to show you guys. Oh, here we go. Hold on, let me see if I can turn it and can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So this is in slow-mo. It's him bobbing in slow-mo. It speeds up a little bit. But there it goes.
Ooh, sorry. If you guys have headphones on, Earl screeches a lot.
But yeah, they bob. And females, they'll do like a push-up bob. Like they'll
Mhm.
push their legs up and kind of like body roll with it. And then a sign of submission from both male and female, they'll wave like this. Like put their hand up and go like this.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they're saying hi.
I
um,
know when birds mate, they bite each other. So that's another reason birds
yeah,
will mate if they think you're their mate.
lizards do that too. They bite the back of the other lizard's neck. Like they'll bite their neck to keep them in place. Hi.
Somebody asked what a lizard diet is like.
Uh, bugs,
Oh,
live
sorry.
bugs. It's a lot of people buy these like dry pellets for them, which
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
they aren't nutritious at all. They just they are the pellets are bad, and
Yeah.
so live bugs for adults, live bugs like 3 times a week, and greens. So they can only
Oh,
have
okay.
specific greens because they have to have certain calcium to phosphorus ratio. Because if it's off, they won't be able to absorb calcium. So like mustard greens, dandelion greens, um,
Oh, sorry, you guys.
turnip greens. They can have baby arugula. Like they can't have spinach that has a high phosphorus to calcium ratio. They can't have a lot, and like iceberg and romaine is too watery. There's really not much nutrition in that. It's just
Yeah. Now,
water.
can they have sprouts?
Do they what?
Can they have sprouts? So I give my birds and chickens and I love them too.
Maybe
Sprouts.
probably. I didn't think that they can eat dandelions.
I love
Uh,
dandelions. I actually I fry the tops. Well, I don't here because I don't have them, but in Ohio I did. My daughter and I like fried dandelion flower tops. You fry them
mhm.
like fried green tomatoes. They're delicious. Very nutritious too. It's a good detoxifier. So I could see why that would be good for a lizard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I breed bugs because it's a lot cheaper. People think
Yeah.
I'm crazy because I have a giant bin of roaches in my laundry room, but um, it's just cheaper.
Yeah.
They breed pretty fast,
Yeah.
and
They
I
say
still have
roaches.
to. I have so many that I still have to buy bugs, but I
Oh,
don't have to buy as many, I guess.
they
And
say if we had a nuclear war that roaches could survive.
oh yeah, roaches can
Yeah.
survive anything, man.
Yeah.
They're they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
And but you know what? I thought I don't like wild roaches. Like if I see a wild roach, I will freak. But
Mhm.
I like mine. I can hold them, play
Oh,
with them, and I'll tell you why. I've grown to like them because they're actually really motherly. Like, I don't like the males, but the females, they have
okay.
babies and then they gather them together. I put like big egg crates in there and they
Mhm.
gather all their babies in the egg crates and they lay over top of them and they like fiercely protect their babies. They'll chase out the males and all the moms will watch whoever's baby. You know what I mean? They all protect the babies, and it's like actually kind of cute. And like, I've grown to like mine, but not wild ones.
Yeah, yeah. See, we're in the South, so no matter how clean you are, a
You
couple
probably
times
get those
a year,
palmetto bugs,
you're gonna get them. Yeah, I haven't seen
flying
any
ones.
palmetto bugs here, but in Florida, they. My husband's originally from Florida, and when we lived there, I saw them, and they freaked me out. But
Yeah.
my chickens love them, so
Oh, sure. And I
yeah.
breed mealworms too. So
Yeah, I actually we're talking about getting into breeding worms to feed to supplement to the chickens. My chickens can't free range here, and
really easy.
for
I can send you all the stuff on how to do it. Like super easy. Like
mhm.
I it just works so much better to breed the bugs and
Aw.
instead of buying them, unless if you have a lot of pets. Oh, Earl's
Yeah,
doing it in the box.
yeah, it's actually getting close to so every day this week until today he made it to 6 o'clock the bedtime. But today he kind of checked out early. I actually had put him up and went back and got him to do the live, but that screeching noise he makes,
Mm-hmm.
he'll just start doing that over and over and over, like, and he's done and he has to go up. And he was cage bound for many years. I know they even said, sometimes they would just leave and go on vacation and leave him for a week. And
Really?
yeah, so he just sat in the dark and really all he heard was nature.
Poor
And
thing.
so he does all these bird noises 50 times louder than an actual outside bird does.
Yeah.
So he does
How did
this one.
how did
It's
his feet get like that?
I assume he was born that way because
Mhm.
it looks like club feet to me. Um, I don't know all of his history. So I was told he was on the person they got him from, he was on small purchase and that's why it did it. But that doesn't make any sense to me. And if you look at the one, it definitely is either just severely deformed or he had a break.
Could it be like from like improper
Oh,
diet and stuff too? Because like they'll get deformities from like
yeah.
improper diet and stuff like that.
So I um I was really nervous at first when she started telling me about his beak because they can develop scissor beak later in life from poor nutrition or a liver problem. But when I went to see him, I knew even if I didn't keep him, I had to take him home. He was
Yeah.
greasy. He looked like somebody had rubbed Crisco all over him. And it's because
Really?
he couldn't preen himself. He wasn't preening himself. Don't
Why
scream.
wasn't? Why couldn't he preen himself?
Because his
Like,
beak was in such bad shape.
oh yeah, yeah, that makes
Um, so when I got him home, I mean, I gave him a bath first of all, and then and again, I always do a disclaimer like, always talk to your avian vet or exotic vet first. But I did
sense.
some herbs that I researched and felt was safe for birds that were like helped with pain.
Yeah.
And I was mixing that in with his food and such. And within a day, he was opening an almond shell. Which
Wow.
I mean, his beak was still bad, but and it was slow. But I knew then he was going to be. I felt like he'd be okay. But so when we started taking him in to get his trims, it was in such bad shape. We had to go like every 4 weeks for a while and slowly trim it back to where it like is now. Um, and he does a really good job, with eating and everything as well. You need to give them things to help them trim their beak. He doesn't like to
Yeah,
chew on the wood like Buster.
like chew on stuff.
Yeah, they need to chew and things like that. But he does have this perch that he chews on, and that helps too. But he doesn't like to play with wood like Buster.
Yeah.
Buster loves, well, he likes to chew up my trim, but
Have you
uh,
ever tried, like, I watch a lot of people with African grays because they're so smart, do like, teach him colors and did you ever there's this one and he knows like glass and metal
oh,
and they seem to like love it. Like,
yeah. I'm working with him on colors, but so far he's not. I really believe if I would have gotten him when he was younger,
you
like
could have done
he
more.
could have
Yeah.
done that. But it's almost like an old horse that
Yeah.
or you can't. Well, you can teach an old dog new tricks. That's just a lie. But horses can, like, the older they get, the harder it is to like do anything with them if they haven't learned at a younger age.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you know how old he is?
From what I'm told, he's 34 this year.
Oh, he's the
Yeah.
same age as me. We're the same age,
So
girl.
he said,
Yeah.
huh. I hope someday to tell more of his story, but out of, I don't even want to say respect, but I just, right now, I'm not willing to. But someday I will tell more of his story because I actually someday hope to find his first two owners. If what I'm being
Yeah.
told, now I don't know if you run into this when you rescue from people, um, but most people, when you take in a bird, they don't tell you the truth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they tell you partial truths, and then you just kind of have to read between the line.
Mm.
But someday, I kind of hope to put out there who I was told he lived with, and you never know the power of the internet. We might. Oh,
Oh yeah, you can find anybody on the internet
yeah.
nowadays. Put it out there,
But
and
I
that.
want to be careful too because I don't want people. Hey, Earl, you just talk to us, okay? It's okay. It's all right. That's how he gets, like, when he needs to go to bed too. But
Mhm.
I don't want to give out too much because I have people email me all the time asking me. They think so. I changed Buster's name, but they think Buster used to live with them, and nobody has given me any kind of information that. But like I said, his name wasn't Buster either. We named him Buster
Did you name
after
Earl, or was he already Earl?
he was named a different name. I'm really big on new life, new name.
Yeah, same.
Um, yeah, and actually, somebody asked a question about how you came up with their names and do they respond to their names? Can they hear?
Um, I don't
Carol.
really know if they respond to their names. I've never noticed them. Like they'll respond if you talk to them, or like but
Hmm.
I don't know if they know their names per se. And but they cuddle. They'll like snuggle up
Oh,
with
that's not
you.
nice.
Uh,
He just
they,
said, "Shut up." He's not very nice sometimes.
and I come up with names like I named her Rosie because she has like a coral like red orange color,
Hmm.
and she just reminded me of like
You don't have to
and
scream.
then I named her Bo because I used to watch the show and there was a guy named Bo, like Beau on the show, and he was really funny and I just liked him and I just thought it was a cute name. Um, my white one's named Gomez. Arrow, he was already named that. Hulk, I named my one Hulk because he's really big. Just things like that, I'll come up with something that fits their personality, I feel like.
Hmm. So Buster's named after Arrested Development character.
Hmm.
And then Earl, he already said Earl. He knew someone named Earl. And since he spills so much tea about his past life, we decided to name like Earl Grey tea because he spills the gossip.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That's neat.
yeah, and then we had another African Grey. Her name was Maybe, and that was also we named her from Arrested Development. So, but she passed away from old age. And then even the parakeets we took in all got named after Arrested Development characters, like Lucille One. Hey, you're okay. It's okay. Just talk to us.
Hi, Earl.
Yeah.
Hi.
But he also like he'll do that too. If we walk out of the room, he just he. It's funny on the live. A lot of times, if I walk out of the room, he talks. But like in the house, when we're just here, like if we go outside or something, he'll start these noises. But like I said, it's kind of sad because he was just left alone to his own device, in a dark room a lot
Yeah.
of times, and he
Do
heard
you
these
think that's
noises.
why he likes the boxes in the drawer? Because it's
Well,
like,
they all kind of do, and sometimes, yeah, he's okay. Sometimes so birds build nests to show their mate that they would make a good mate. So
oh,
they
I
like to
can see
chew up
that.
things
He's a
to,
ladies' man, huh?
yeah. But I mean, they all of them like to chew up stuff, really. All the okay. Oh, I didn't mean to bump that. Sorry. Hey, you're okay. Do you want to get out of your box?
You could put him in if he wants to go in his cage. You could put him in there.
Yeah, he might be okay. Give me a kiss. Good boy. Good boy. Are you just about over it? Huh? Are you just about over it? Do you want to get in your box? Do you want to get in your box? Is that it?
Oh, his box.
Your
I love
box?
his box. How
Yeah.
cute is that he likes his little travel box?
I bought that. I buy their toys like at Goodwill and stuff. And I bought that for 99 cents. It was already like this. And I thought, oh, Buster will have fun chewing it up. And all those years I had it, he never touched it. And it was really hard to get. He would not step up. So we had to towel him to put him up. And one day I was like, I'm going to see if he'll get on this.
It worked.
And it worked. So it's his little travel box. I take him on rides and stuff sometimes too. So, um,
Oh, like in the car? Oh, I did see you take him
yeah.
for cars.
Yeah, I have a little bag that I take them on walks. You don't have
Did
to
you
scream.
ever? Did you ever think about putting him in like one of those little zip up strollers?
I actually had ordered one, and it wasn't very good quality. I ended up sending it back. Now Buster could chew through that, but Earl could too, but it would take him a lot longer. And eventually, that's my goal. I'd like to take him to the park, like with um, you know.
Oh, Buster would love that. Going to
Now
the park with
Buster,
Joy. He
I
loves
need
action park.
Yeah, I need to get more a different type of cage for Buster, even if we can get him harness trained. So Buster loves dogs really, and he doesn't
Yeah. And
understand
he
that.
barks. And he cracks me up
Yeah,
with the barking.
he doesn't understand that not all dogs like him. Like when our neighbors
Yeah.
come out with their dog, he wants to go over there. And she's a German Shepherd that's never been around birds, so it wouldn't be a good idea.
He thinks he's
But
one of the pack.
yeah. And so even at a park, we really worry with a harness where they're walking so many dogs. This is a real dog friendly area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they that's a concern that he would try, and so I really want to get this acrylic container for bird. It's basically like a dog kennel, but I get it goes the opposite way, and it has a metal door too. But they're really expensive, and I don't know if I could. So I've been looking for a used. I'm really big on buying used things
Yeah,
if
same.
I can. So when I find one of those, I think I can get him to. If I throw a brush in there, he'll probably get in.
Or a scrub daddy.
Yeah, and once he learns that, like, okay, when I get in here, I go to the park or to the airport, you know, then he'll like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I just, I, yeah. And I might just have to, end up getting one. And I guess if he hates it, I can donate it to a rescue. But yeah, it's called a Winnebago. And there's a few people on Etsy that make something similar, but it's something about the Winnebago I just think would work the best for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'd love to be able to take him places too. Um, but it also gets very hot here, so that a little acrylic box could be. But I was thinking maybe I could cover it with something.
You could get hot
Um,
there. I have
yeah,
like an acrylic backpack that I carry them around in, and then the back opens up to like netting, so you could like lay it out and have like the netting on one side so they can get like the sun, and then the other side is the plastic piece. But like you can
yeah.
zipper the net part up. So sorry, Rosie.
Um,
But
sorry, I was.
I have a monitor too. It's a really it's gonna get about the size of a dog. He's a
You have
really
a what? What is
a
that?
monitor. It's called
Oh,
a monitor. called an Asian water monitor, but it's kind of like a mini Komodo dragon.
mm.
And by summer, I should be able to walk him on a leash.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we walked our chickens on leashes before.
Oh, really? They have
Yeah,
leashes, chickens?
yeah,
I walk these on leashes. I have leashes for
yeah.
many.
Um, somebody asked me way back. Somebody asked a question about Earl was oily because I think because he couldn't preen himself. He wasn't. He did where his beak was in such bad shape. It was too painful to preen. Um, so somebody asked that back a little while ago. Amanda does a really good job. If I miss a question, she'll send it to me. So, but so I wanted to go back and answer that. Oh, look how cute, Earl! Look,
See,
look,
Earl?
Earl,
It's
look
Rosie.
over here. You see? I think so. I have my computer up too. I
Mhm.
watch comments on the computer, or I try to, and then I watch, on the phone. So I think he's looking at the computer screen and seeing himself and Rosie. Are you gonna
They're
say hi?
all they're all pretty calm like this. The only one that's my monitor. My monitor's really tame and nice, but he just likes to explore. He's like, like a puppy. And then, my all my bearded dragons though are pretty relatively calm. Besides
Yeah,
Hulk, he's like a nervous wreck, and he'll get sick if I take him out too much from stress. So I don't mess with him too much. He's like my grumpy one, but
yeah.
they're all pretty calm and cuddly. They'll like.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like they're very loving.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And they'll like wiggle in and cuddle with you, and they're really sweet. Look, Earl, are you looking? See?
nice. Say hi. Now, do they have to go do they have to go like for regular checkups to the vet or?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty easy. Like I only really bring them if like I feel like they have like if they have like runny poop, it'll be a sign of parasites or
Hmm.
things I can tell if something's wrong. Is sometimes they get respiratory infections. That's pretty common if the temps get too low. Uh, Other than that, not really. Like I take Rome because he's like I'll keep getting him checkups because he's already
Cool.
pretty handicapped and nutrition depleted. But the other ones do pretty well, and a lot of the stuff I've learned to do like on my own, like nursing him back to health with like a syringe. I've done that. I buy the parasite stuff now and just deworm them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Exotics. I mean, birds are like that too. They can get parasites and things like
mhm.
that.
You have to
Um,
be really careful where you buy
bacterial.
from and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I do with their bird seed when I get it, I put it in the freezer because their bird seed can get like moths. And it's
Oh.
pretty much the same. I do it with rice and flour and stuff like that too. But yeah, I put it in the freezer and that takes care of that problem and kills it off.
So is
So
there anything birds can't eat that could like kill them? Like dogs can't eat chocolate or like.
yeah, chocolate is definitely one they can't eat. It's um, avocado, like for most pets too. Um, different ones because
Is
Buster
garlic?
like bitten
I've
for.
heard garlic. Like, is garlic bad for them? I've heard garlic is
They
like.
say garlic and onions, and there, a lot of people say a lot of things. There's a lot of and certain birds. I know like macaws can't have like any kind of cooked tomato or tomato. Um, because Buster like he put a tomato in his mouth during those him and Dad's cooking show, and everybody lost their minds. And he touched an onion shell, and everybody thought he was gonna die. But he didn't eat it, or anything. But cockatoos can have like pasta or tomato sauce, whereas I guess macaws cannot.
My friend
Um,
had a cockatoo, and he would always try and get coffee. He like wanted the coffee so bad. He would put the spoon in the cup and try and like make you give it to him. I
yeah,
don't know why he loved coffee so much, but he all he wanted was coffee.
I know alcohol is supposed to be really bad, and I've seen a couple videos long time ago where somebody gave their bird wine, and you should not do that.
Oh my!
um, yeah, but I don't really.
You ever have trouble with like feather plucking? I know that's like an issue with birds
Um,
too. Like,
so most of the birds that do it is because of stress. But I know like Einstein, he plucks a couple times a year, and
mm,
it's just a hormonal thing. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're being, not taken care of or whatever. It can be diet related. I see it more in females than males.
yeah, I've seen a
Um,
couple like nakey birds. Like
yeah,
pick
people
everything, and
love
they look like
them.
this little
Yeah,
itty bitty chicken with sweaters on and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They people love the little naked birds.
I love them. They're adorable with their little
Yeah,
like wings. Like they crack me up. There was
yeah.
one that dances, and I would watch it all the time. It was so cute.
I can't remember the name of that because that one got popular on the dodo. I think that
Mhm.
it used to swim. You don't have to scream. You don't have to scream. Come on. Um, they yeah. Shh, use your inside voice. Use your inside voice. He's getting a lot better about me touching him too. He prefers I just do his beak, but he's getting a lot better, aren't you?
That's good.
Um,
I hope you get to bond with them because I know you want your own bird to bond with because they
yeah,
all seem to.
yeah. I have a dog that my Max is my dog. Like
Mhm.
when
Is
I
he the big
leave,
one?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I found him tied. Well, a friend had asked me to go see him, and I went to see him. We actually didn't realize how thin he was until I got him home, until just talk. We love it when you talk. You don't have to scream anymore.
He sounds
But
like a
anyway,
little like bird in the trees to me here, but I don't know
yeah.
how he sounds on headphones. So.
Okay. Okay. Amanda said it doesn't sound that bad. It in this my
Yeah.
little room, it's like piercing.
It
So
it
it might
sounds
be.
like like when you're outside and you hear the birds in the trees. That's what it sounds like
Yeah.
in my ears.
Yeah, it's way louder than that. It must just the microphone must be calming it down because
Mhm.
it like makes your eardrums do like a like oop. um, but I just didn't want anybody to be real bothered by it um, because I prefer just to you really should just ignore behaviors.
Mhm.
But I keep telling him now, I've been trying this where I tell him, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just talk to us,
Yeah.
because he's not cage bound anymore. He's not, he gets plenty of time out every day. His needs are being met.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm trying that now, like where I tell him, you don't have to do that anymore. But,
And
um,
birds are so smart. It's like they're like they have like a brain like a 3-year-old, right?
yeah,
Like
3 to 5, really.
3 to
Yeah.
5, yeah.
Yeah. And even the ones that don't talk are smart like that. Um,
'Cause
yeah,
even Buster, like he like says things like according to like what he's doing or the conversation. You sounded like Buster there. Was that
yeah.
Earl?
He's saying Merry Christmas like Buster does. Merry
You
Christmas.
sounded just like Buster.
That's what he's doing.
I
Um,
do have a turtle. I do have a turtle. I have 3 snakes. Someone asked if I had a turtle. Sorry, 3 snakes, 9 bearded dragons, Asian water monitor, a leopard gecko, and a turtle.
oh wow.
I think that's all of them. Hi.
Yeah, he's about done, huh? But this is what he does when he wants to go. Like
Too
it's
bad.
like I'm done. I'm checked out. And sometimes even during the day, we have to kind of just put him up and
In his
make
in his cage.
make the room dark. But he'll get to where he just does it like constantly.
Mhm.
The noise really bothers my husband's ears. It's like a sensory
Yeah,
thing.
I have like misophonia,
Mm,
but only to certain noises. So like when people whisper into the microphone or like skin slapping, like going like that to your skin, that will send me send me through the roof.
yeah, it is. Like I said,
So,
I'm glad it doesn't come across on YouTube as loud as it is because it is it's extremely, loud. Yeah, he's actually saying Merry Christmas like Buster does.
he sounds just
Yeah,
like Buster,
he's
like he
doing
does it
that a
so good.
lot. Yeah. Did you do Buster? What's Buster say? That's his new thing right now. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard him say jerk in like a week. Um, uh-huh. He just says that Buster noise. It's Buster's. I need to get it on video and find the video of Buster jumping and saying Merry Christmas. Um,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, there. That's what he's saying. He's saying
Merry
Merry Christmas. Like,
Christmas!
yeah.
Merry Christmas,
So
Earl!
that's gonna be his new word. I think is Merry Christmas. We'll have to put that on one of your merch shirts, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is Buster in bed already?
No, they go up at 6. So I'll gonna stay on about 5 more minutes, but after that I get him put up and then um my husband puts Buster up. And I talk to Earl why he puts Buster up. Otherwise, Earl just screams. So I talk to him. He gives me some goodnight kisses and stuff.
Do
It's
they ever like wake you up at night, like in the middle of the night?
no, they're really good at night. I mean, Buster does some. Well, during the time change, they get real weird. But Buster will sometimes, if he hears people, he'll start talking in there, and a lot of times he'll start screaming or going off, on a rant. But he really doesn't say anything at night. He's done. I cover him, and he's just done.
I
Uh,
love that he like makes his own lyrics to songs and sings it. I think it's like the
yeah,
cutest thing. But he was singing that one in the room, and he said like the cutest lyric ever. It was like singing like a love song. I forget what he said, but it was so funny. Like yeah, be
he
cracking up.
he also will sing like he likes Katy Perry. I don't play it really for him as his daughter
Oh yeah,
started that.
I remember watching him singing "Firework" and jumping down the
Yeah, and
hallway.
he does he has sang like California Girls. I have a video somewhere where
Oh,
he says
the boy.
California Girls are undeniable.
Oh, the Katy
And
Perry California Girls. I was thinking
yeah,
Beach Boys.
yeah, he said that and then he likes AJR. He'll
You said
sing
he likes Cool in the Gang, right? I love Cool in the
Earl
Gang.
loves Earl loves Cool
Oh,
in the Game.
Earl loves Cool in
So
the
I
Gang.
found
Okay,
that
I
Earl
love
like
like '70s R&B.
yeah.
Like, oh, I
I
love like
have
the
found that
OJ.
when I play 70s R&B for him, he does better than when I play other music. And he also likes a song by Biz Markie called Just a Friend.
Yeah, I know. So
Okay.
I was a DJ for like 10 years, so I
Okay.
love like I'm a music
So,
person,
well,
but
I
I
had
love
never heard
'70s
that
R&B.
song. And I mean, I listened to that kind of music in the 80s, but I had told you know who to play 80s one hit wonders.
Mhm.
And the Biz Markie song came on, and he started like dancing and moving all around and singing, and it was hilarious. So that's your favorite song, isn't it, Earl? But my birds love music. We love music. I mean,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, Buster, it's really
He literally makes up his own lyrics, and
yeah,
it'd be like a love song. It was so cute. He would say like something like
hmm
"I'll follow you" or something like
yeah.
that, or I forget what he said, but it was so
Are you
funny. I
done? You
just cracked
done?
up.
Um, I have a video coming up where he's saying like I'm a fool or like fool, 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 like and he's singing it. And it's absolutely hilarious. And he does like he comes
That's
up with
so
just these.
funny.
I love Buster's original songs.
Oh yeah, so they're so
Yeah,
original. They're so good, and he sings it with so much like he really means it.
yeah, I know. I wish like somebody could collab or like finish one of his songs up and actually like sing a song or put all his lyrics together and make
And put a
something.
beat behind it. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I
Yeah.
actually had somebody message me. It was like a recording studio. They're obviously just getting started, but they were saying Earl something about Earl. Do you want to like join their record label? um, but I didn't even respond. But it's because they didn't even have the right bird. Like it's Earl
Yeah.
doesn't really. Now Earl does tell him he does encourage him in the background. Like now
Mhm.
he'll go like woo, and he'll make a clapping
Yeah, I've
sound.
heard him do that.
Yeah, so he is starting to like really encourage him, which is hilarious.
You're
But
Buster's hype man, huh?
yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm gonna go. He's just gonna get worse and worse. But this
Okay.
was fun, and actually, like maybe we can try to start doing this like once a month if people are into
Oh
it. I think it's a good thing. Um, yeah, I'm
yeah.
really big on rescue. I'm really big on don't
Me
impulse
too.
buy these exotic pets. And
Yeah, I tell everyone, man, do your research before you get a pet because this happens all the time where people impulse buy these animals and
hmm
they don't have the right lights. I mean, there's very specific things needed for their care, and it's a big upfront cost, but after that, it's not too bad. But if you don't have the right stuff,
hmm
like they'll die horrible
hmm
deaths and
yeah,
painful deaths, and
yeah,
they're not a throwaway pet. They're
yeah.
you know
Yeah, that's how like with birds, you've got to get new cookware. There's all these things you
they
need.
live for a long time. They chew
Yeah,
your house up.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
loud. Yeah, people, and then people get birds, and the birds will outlive them. So
hmm yeah.
I like to spread awareness.
Yes,
Like
yeah. I'm very passionate, and I'm really big on building communities. And I find to me that
Mhm.
a lot of the exotic community doesn't seem to do things like we're doing right now. At least not what I see. And it's
Yeah,
like really community is important for not everything.
yeah,
um and so that's I'm really really big on building. I mean, even though you and I have different types of channels, we have something in common. And being able to bring that forth to people and share so that we don't um or consider adopting and not getting from a breeder. We have the power
I
to
remember
kind of.
the first time out that you actually liked crime stuff was on Twitter. I seen you commenting on like a trial, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, my
Yeah.
favorite YouTube cockatoo likes true crime." I was so excited.
Well, that particular trial, I lived in that area when it happened. I was a county
Mhm.
over from there,
Mhm.
and it was crazy. And it was crazy watching the trial to find out that the one wife was like at my Walmart. you know. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was a crazy one. And Georgia's trial is coming up. I think they're holding it off till next year now. Um,
Oh.
but then the Murdahl, I live in South Carolina. They're pretty far from me, but that was a crazy pants one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right now, Valo and Letitia Stalk's pretty crazy. That's what I've been
yeah. I
watching.
have a hard time watching Ballo. It just is
Uh,
so
it's
disturbing.
it's heavy.
hmm
It's heavy. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been like that for like the past month. It's just a bunch of cases with kids, and it's just
yeah,
depressing.
yeah. It's really sad. So,
Mhm.
but this was a lot of fun. Let's
Yeah.
chat and try to do this again. And maybe, like I said, let's build communities about stuff like this so that people don't just go out and pick up these pets. I'm not trying to discourage. I don't care if people get exotics, but know what you're
Same.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks,
yeah.
Amanda. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I think that they make great pets, and I think they make great pets for kids and whatever, but you like I said, make sure you have everything prepared first because
Yeah.
yeah. I'm very big on any pet you have, even a goldfish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
take care of it right. Like I'm very big on teaching my son, like, listen, I know a lot of people who get pets at, like, impulse buy, and then next week they're giving them away,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can't. That drives me crazy. And it's like
Mhm.
that's like my number one thing is like, man, just don't get a pet if you're not ready
Yeah,
or you don't know.
dogs too, dogs and cats and all that,
Mhm.
and then they get dumped and yeah, that whole it's a mess, so, yeah, but alright, well, you have a good weekend.
You
Thanks
too.
everybody
Thanks for
for being
chatting.
here. We'll try to plan on doing some like this from time to time if that's good with you.
Yeah, I'd love
Okay,
to.
awesome. Alright, we'll see you later.
All right. See you,
Bye, guys.
everyone. Thank
Say
you.
bye.
Bye, Earl.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.